Previously on that Cthulhu John.
It's actually eerily calm.
Probably pretty shook. Watching over my shoulder.
I'm gonna call Thompson, and I'm like pissed.
That's fucking bullshit. I was there. That was no fucking bear.
This message is for Heather Snakehole. You've been listed for the emergency contact for Mildred Thiebley.
I'm gonna find out who did this to you.
We were wondering if you do restorations of artwork, sir.
I'd be happy to take a look and see if there's any skill I might lend to the situation.
Inside the statue, there is a sheet that is all written in Russian.
Welcome to that Cthulhu John.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for that Cthulhu John episode 7. Lucky number 7. We are a real play Call of Cthulhu podcast. I am George, your keeper of arcane lore. And with me are my friends and investigators, Chad.
What's up?
Chuck.
Are you ready to rock?
And Jenny.
Hey, nerds.
All right, guys. So last we left off, if I remember right, Walter was looking into repairing the statue. He found that there was a crack in the top of it that led down into the hollow statue. And he found a scroll in there, which he took out and unraveled, and it was all in Russian. So, Walter, where do you go from here?
Well, fortunately I chose to do this in a bookstore. I'm going to see if we have any Russian to English dictionaries.
There are many Russian English dictionaries that you have actually in the bookstore. However, you feel like it would take you a really long time to translate all of this shit from Russian into English if you wanted to do that. But give me an education roll.
Which is 77. Ooh, 81 ain't gonna do it. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think I want to spend luck on that just yet.
Yeah, so you're thinking to yourself, do I really want to do the actual translation, word for word like that? If you want, you can push that education roll with a little bit of, I guess, more forethought into ways of going about doing this without having to get a Russian to English dictionary.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, shit. I'm not sure, really. Not really knowing anything about it, and I guess, the history surrounding the artist itself. I don't know that he would want to really bring somebody in on this.
Okay.
But, is this like a one-page kind of thing with small writing? What exactly am I looking at?
All right, so this page of writing that's all in Russian, it's two sides of the page of paper.
Okay. Do we have a copy machine at the bookstore?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well then, I think I might try to take a photo and a copy of it. Both sides. Probably take several photos just in case.
What are you rolling?
Well, I figured I would need some photography.
You're taking pictures of the
Scroll itself, documentation.
scroll itself.
Oh,
I see.
actually,
Take pics.
actually, you know what? Scratch that. Maybe I shouldn't take pictures of it, but I do still want to copy it.
All right, it'll cost you a nickel.
For both sides, it's a good deal right there. Might have to make two.
All right, so you make yourselves 2 copies of the original scroll that was in Russian.
And I inspect it thoroughly. I mean, make sure that everything is included on the copy and that it's legible and all that stuff.
Okay.
Change the photo print setting if need be.
Gotcha. All of your copies come out crystal clear and very much recognizable.
How long does it look like it would take me to hand copy all the information on this?
considering that you would be copying it just shape for shape and not really understanding what the letters mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it'll probably take you about an hour.
That sounds very reasonable. I get to work on that immediately.
Right, so you made copies with the copy machine, and now you're doing a hand copy?
Yes, but I'm
Okay.
kind of leaving a space as if I were to translate it later and pencil in the words or whatever. So I'll leave like a sentence space under each of the sentences that I copy.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So we'll say that takes us out to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon for you.
It's Friday, right?
This is Saturday, actually.
Oh, that's right. Well, the last thing I need to do is maybe check out a hardware store. Or maybe a place that makes keys. If there's a place that does both, that would probably be best.
Yeah. You can go to any neighborhood hardware store. I don't know if... Was Home Depot and
It was
Heckinger's.
Heckinger's back then, yeah.
Heckinger's back then?
Might have even been Hechts.
Oh yeah.
Hechts. Yeah. But I'm going to say that there's no real hardware stores downtown.
How about a plumbing place? Like place that would sell plumbing, like hardware that you could fix stuff like DIY?
Just go buy a
Sure,
toilet.
You know what? Give me a luck roll on that one.
Ooh, 73. That doesn't look... no, he's not quite that high. No good there either.
No, you can't find any plumbers either. Not in the area, anyway. There's plenty once you get outside Center City.
Yep. How secure is the that little study that he has in the back of the bookstore?
I'm going to say that it has a pretty solid door, but it's still an indoor door, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look around the study itself. Is there anywhere in the room that I could kind of cover the statue and kind of shelve it so it doesn't look like there's a super weird statue sitting out and about in the middle of the room?
I'm going to say you have maybe some odd corners of the room where you have books piled up and you can kind of hide it behind the books.
Okay, yeah, that works pretty good then. So I'll do that, take a little time to stow it away carefully, try to arrange the books around it so that if anybody does place something on top of this, it's not going to crush it.
All right, sounds good.
I'm going to head out for some supplies afterwards.
Where are you headed to?
I guess whatever hardware store would be closest to where I'm at, maybe something in South Philly.
I'm going to say there's something in West Philly that you can get to that's a little closer. Like right over, that bridge that goes over, what is that, the Schuylkill?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, given its location, that would probably make sense then.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I mentioned, parking out behind this joint last time, think I'll make for the Pinto and get on the road.
Okay, so you get on the road, head out to West Philly, where you find the hardware store in question. And as you walk in, it's pretty dead in there. An elderly gentleman, gray hair, gray mustache, comes up to you and goes, yeah, can I help you with anything?
Yes, hopefully a couple things. Need a little solder, good strong epoxy, and perhaps something to melt the solder with.
Says, okay, well, we would have those supplies, solder, epoxy, and other sort of fasteners. We're going to be in aisle 8.
All right, and do you make keys here?
Sure we do.
Good. Okay. Where would I find the key making station?
Well, so if you can just hand me your key, I will go make one for you.
Well, it's actually a bit of a stranger request. I don't suppose you have any old iron shavings around from grinding down keys or anything, do you?
He says to you, well, we have the shavings from the keys themselves, which are mostly made of nickel.
Well, that could help still. Would it be possible to, obtain a small portion of those metal dusts? Shavings?
Absolutely, sure. No problem. When I go to make a key, I'll just pick up some of those shavings for you.
All right. In that case, he looks on his key ring and maybe grabs like a random storage, closet or something key from the bookstore. He says, this ought to do nicely then. One copy of this key, please. And hands it to him.
It's just a random key. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so he takes the key. We're going to say that you find your soldering equipment. You find your epoxy.
Nice.
And then after a couple minutes, you find the guy, or the guy finds you.
Even better.
And he says, here's the key, sir. Hands you a small paper bag that has something heavy in it. And he says, and here's those metal shavings that you wanted. And he hands you another small paper bag. That's a little bit lighter. It's got some shavings in there.
This should be perfect. But just in case something else came up too, how about a good strong file in case I need to make more shavings of my own later?
Says, oh yeah, sure. We got a file. We got rasps.
That sounds like the aisle I need, or aisles.
All right. So you find yourself a file, one of those big metal ones.
Yeah,
that
the two different sides.
They're using cartoons to saw out of prisons.
Oh yeah, all that good stuff. Got the beveled edge, got the flat edge. I need it all.
Mm-hmm. Write that down. Keep that with you.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
No, nobody carries those around.
Well, in certain instances, maybe could put it in his little
The
briefcase.
damage on a file.
The impact or the sustained rubbing damage.
The sustained rubbing. Real bad.
Get the worst Indian burn. All right, I'm sorry. All right, well that sounds great. I gather up all the things that I need and head to the register.
So you get your supplies from the hardware store in West Philly. And you're ready to go on the road, but let's see what's happening with Lenny.
Oh, who's that? Oh, right.
So Lenny, when we last left you, where were you?
Yeah, I'm probably still in bed. Maybe nursing a terrible hangover.
That's right. You and Heather both spent last night drinking until like 7 a.m. or something like that.
It happens.
That's how we roll.
Heather managed to go to the hospital and find she found her Aunt Millie, who they called her because they called Heather because she was Millie's emergency contact, and Millie's in the hospital at Roxborough Memorial right now. But what did Lenny do? What time did he wake up around?
He probably wouldn't be able to sleep too late, even though.
Just because of your habit of waking up early.
So there might be a 8 or so, and then like another nap around maybe 10.
Okay. Get up,
Yeah.
have a little breakfast, go back to sleep, kind of thing.
Yeah, throw up,
Crack one of them breakfast beers.
drink a bunch of waters,
Wolf.
water,
You're gonna want that.
and then back to bed. Probably got up again around 12:31.
Okay, so around 12:31,
More aspirin.
you get up, and when you get up, you just still just feel like shit, like complete, total shit. In fact, give me a Constitution roll.
Every day for me. 93 is not gonna do it.
You're probably not going to be moving for the rest of today.
Yeah, I'm just lounging. Oh, even the TV hurts my head. There's this bird outside of my window. Fuck.
Pretty bad. But Heather,
Yeah.
you took a cab home after your visit with Millie.
Getting kicked out of the hospital.
After getting kicked out of the hospital for being drunk, basically.
I got flagged from the hospital.
I forgot about that. Good times. It's an achievement.
It should be. If it's not.
But you take a cab home. Around 8:30, back to home. We'll say it's around 9:30 when you get home in the morning. And How do you feel at that point? Like, give me a Constitution roll.
Okay. Is that just one? Both of them?
Just no, it's both dice, both 10-sided dice.
46. Oh,
And your con at the top is
70.
all right. So that's almost a hard pass, but that's a normal pass. That's good enough. You don't throw up or anything like that.
I did.
Yeah, I'm like 27, and so it doesn't like nothing
guys bounce
hurts
back.
or something.
Yeah. Indestructible.
Heather, you're feeling pretty good. You do this a lot, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think she has a problem,
hanging out, drinking
actually.
a little too long. She might. But you're feeling not too bad, all things considered. Probably still a little drunk. What do you do after 9:30 when you get back home?
I think I want to go to a psychic near where I live.
All right.
Because she's.
Crack open.
No, I was going to say, because she's like way more freaked out than she's letting the guys know, because she feels stupid being like, no, that's definitely a fucking monster. And she doesn't want to go to like the loony bin.
I gotcha.
I still remember that individual's face being ripped off by those terrible teeth.
Yeah, like, she's seen some shit.
So, do me a favor, Heather. Give me a luck roll.
Okay. $18.
Wow. Okay, what's your luck
I
at
don't know if it's
currently?
good or bad. 68.
Wow. Okay. So, given that very good luck roll, I'm going to say you look through the yellow pages. You find a couple psychics in there, but you find one that just kind of sticks out to you. It's on South Street, so it's a little further away. It just says Psychic on South.
Does sound good. It's got a nice ring to it.
Seems legit.
I'm home now, though, right? Like, I'm at my apartment.
Yes, you are.
I just call them to see if they're open or if they do readings, like, over the phone.
So when you call them, there is an answering machine, and the answering machine gives you a message that they don't open until 10 o'clock. However, it says that Miss Selena will be willing to do free consultations over the phone.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm in. Credit card out of my wallet. She's got bad credit anyway. Let's fucking go.
Call me now for your free reading.
Oh, Miss Cleo. If only this were 90s Cthulhu.
Oh, god damn it. 1991.
Your psychic needs would have been in the bag by now.
So we're going to say it's, the half hour goes by pretty quick. And 10 o'clock, you call Miss Selena?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the phone answers, and it goes, "Hello, this is Miss Selena. How can I help you?"
I have a question about a family member who is in the hospital and some other things.
Oh, I see. Someone who is on the mend currently, or someone who is perhaps on the way out to the spirit realm?
I don't really know. Doesn't seem like she's on the way here. Seems more like the way out. But I want to know who or what did this to her.
I see. Well, this will be very difficult to do over the phone, you see. To transcribe the energy from your friend or family member, we would have to see you in person so that we can get the energy from you that you have received from them. You understand?
I guess. I mean, I can come in there now.
Very good, yes. So we are open. We will be open until 6 o'clock tonight. And you can stop by any time between 10 and 6 to see Miss Selena.
I'll see you as soon as possible.
All right. Heather, you get to Miss Selena's psychic office, the psychic on South Street. Give me a quick navigation roll. Navigation, roll both your things. It is 10% on navigate if you don't have anything in there.
I got 53, and I have nothing in there.
Okay, so it's a 10% that you have to beat in that case. But 53 on the roll is going to be a fail. So it takes you actually a little while to find the place. It's not, turns out it's not actually on South Street. It's right off of South Street. Regardless of the name, Psychos on South. But 6th and South, you eventually find the place. It's a little closer towards, like, was that Bainbridge?
Mm-hmm. Next one over.
Yeah, next one over. So it's a little closer towards Bainbridge, but you do manage to find it, Psychicon South. And it's a very small store front. It looks like one of those things where maybe they live above it.
Okay. Real shifty looking.
But there's a sandwich board out front, and it has a hand on it. It has an eye in the center of the hand. And it says palm readings, tarot cards, tea leaves, and bones readings.
Okay.
You're gonna need that bone.
Yeah.
Bring them bones right over here. We're gonna read them.
All right, so I don't know. Is there a bell? Or ring the bell?
Well, there's a doorbell. The door is locked. All right, so you ring the doorbell, and there is a small little girl that comes to the door. She's the little girl's maybe about 4 foot tall or something like that. But you realize as soon as she gets to the door and opens it up that she's not a little girl, but she's a little person.
Mm-hmm.
It's that woman from Poltergeist.
And she says,
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
"So you're here to see Miss Selena?
Yes, I am.
Let me get her for you." And she escorts you into a small room. It has a large chair that is upholstered in very dense, velvety kind of material. It's got those big buttons in it, so it looks puffy and plush and all that stuff, but it's pretty ugly shade of green. And she escorts you to that seat, and across from it is what looks like a love seat, and there's a table between the chair and the love seat. The little person lady goes to the back room through a beaded curtain, and after about 10 minutes of you waiting there, a rather elderly looking woman, like indeterminably elderly, could be 70, could be 90, you're not exactly sure. She just is very prune-faced, very wrinkled, dried up looking woman, very, very large nose on her, couple warts around her eyebrow area. And she comes in, she has a single cane, comes in walking on a cane, sits down. This woman is, she sits down in the middle of the love seat. And you can see that her rear kind of takes up almost both parts of the love seat. So she's like a kind of a little old lady, but she got a big ass on her.
She got a donk.
And she sits down in the love seat, taking up most of the 2 cushions. And she says to you, "Yes, my darling, how can I help you?"
I just, I've had a lot of crazy things happen to me in the last week. And,
I can see your aura. It is very chaotic.
I don't know how to say this, but I think I saw a monster eat a man's head at an auction. And, my aunt also was missing, and now she's back. And I don't know why. I have a feeling either they're related or a gentleman that I've become friends with did it to her.
She says to you, "Well, this situation that you are in, again, I can see you have a very chaotic aura about you. But the situation you are in perhaps cannot be revealed simply through talking or aura reading. Perhaps we should break out the tea leaves, yes?"
Sure.
Now, the tea leaves, they are not your standard way of reading someone's fortune, you understand. The tea leaves speak the truth. The tarot cards reveal what is. The aura tells us how you feel at the moment. But the tea leaves, I feel, will be the way to go. This will cost you $50.
Do you take credit cards?
Oh, we do not, child. I'm sorry. This is a cash-only business.
Okay, I'll do it anyway.
I figure Heather probably has a bunch of cash on
gonna
her
say,
being
like,
a bartender.
I'm broke, but I'm not like broke.
But $50 is a good chunk of change in 1985. So if you feel like dropping it, that's on you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say that you're going to have to take that out of your cash funds, though, because that's a little more than over like your daily spending limit.
So this is spending level 200?
Yes, spending level 200, and you should have cash in there somewhere.
1,000.
1,000. Okay, so deduct 50 from that. And she says to you, yes, we will get the tea leaves. And she goes through the beaded curtains again. And you're sitting there in the parlor where you've been seated, and you're kind of looking around the room. And it's kind of oddly decorated. There's strange gold symbols on the walls next to pictures of various religious icons like Buddha and Jesus, and you got like Lao Tzu up there too, and like it's a mishmash of different religious things that you're seeing. But after you're looking around for about 5 minutes or so, she comes back and she has a cup. It looks like it's steaming hot, this cup. And she brings it over and places it in front of you. And she says, "Now, my darling, inhale from the tea."
Okay.
So you put your head over it, take a nice deep whiff.
I'm very stuffy. Sorry, that's gross. I just mowed the lawn.
So you take a nice deep whiff of the tea, and it's very aromatic, almost flowery, actually. And she says to you, "Now, my darling, you must sip from the tea. You do not have to drink it all, but you must have to drink some of it."
Okay.
And so you take a sip. It's really hot. It kind of burns the roof of your mouth a little bit. Miss Selena says, that is enough that you can drink. And she motions for you to give her back the cup. As you hand her the cup, she takes looks like a spoon, but it has a bunch of holes in it. Mm-hmm. And she scoops out from the cup some things, dumps the tea into a bowl that's next to her, and then takes the tea leaves, throws them back in the cup, and starts looking over the cup. And she starts to look very concerned. And she says to you, "Tell me, the person that you are speaking of, that you are concerned for, are they very closely related to you?"
Well, it's my godmother, but
I see. Yes, you have a spiritual connection with this person, this woman, yes?
very much.
I can see the deep connection here in the tea leaves. And she starts to move around the leaves a little bit with her finger. She again gets a very concerned look on her face. And she says, "This person that you speak of, are they a violent person?"
My aunt?
Your aunt.
My godmother?
Is she a violent or very angry person?
No, not at all.
Huh. Interesting. And she starts to keep looking through the leaves again. She looks back up to you. And she says, "Your aunt is in grave danger. She is going to be visited by an evil spirit. Or perhaps already has been visited by it. I think the best course of action is to get your aunt here, and we can see what is wrong with her, aura level."
Well, I mean, she's hooked up to a bunch of machines. I don't think that's possible.
Oh, she is injured.
Yeah, she was attacked and she was found naked and now she's in the hospital on a bunch of machines.
She says that explains this leaf here, and she starts to show you the cup with all the leaves in it, and she says this leaf here shows vulnerability. This one over here, and she points to a weird crooked one. She says this one shows a streak of violence or anger. However, it is cut in half, so I do not know exactly how to interpret this. I'm afraid that this is the furthest that I will be able to take this reading at this moment.
Is there any way you could at least tell me if a person that I know did it? If I give you his card, can you feel it and tell me if he did it?
Yes, it is something that has had contact with the person that you speak of?
Yes.
Very well. Hand it to me.
All right. I hand it to her.
She takes the card and she holds it up to her head and she puts it in the cup with the tea leaves, and then she lights a match, throws it in there, and it starts burning. And she blows it out, looks in the cup, and says, "No, this person had nothing to do with this."
Well, that's a relief. Anyway, but kind of still leaves me in the same position. But I'm glad it wasn't my friend.
Nice.
This person, is he your friend?
He's a very nice man who I may have not been so nice to.
Well, to reconcile is to be divine, my dear. Remember, always forgive those who have done you wrong, or ask for forgiveness when you have done them wrong.
You got it, sister.
And she says to you, well, that is going to be it for the reading today. When your aunt is out of the hospital, please bring her by.
I will. Thank you so much, Miss Selena.
He says, yes, my child, you may go. And leave Miss Selena's place. I'm going to say when you leave Miss Selena's place, it's about approaching lunchtime. Lenny, what are you doing around lunchtime? Are you up yet? Are you
Trying to block the sun.
trying to block the sun out? All right. Well, Lenny, around 2 p.m, your phone starts ringing. Real loud, fucking ear-piercing, like it's not helping with the hangover.
Get up and drag myself over to it.
All right, so you drag yourself over to it, answer the phone. What do you say?
Hello there.
Ah, Lenny. So nice to talk to you again.
You can tell right from the voice that this is Chucky.
Okay.
Lenny, something that may not be best to talk over the phone. But perhaps come Monday morning, I can meet you at the depot?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be there.
Very good. Now, I don't want you to get concerned there, Lenny. This is all good stuff that's coming to you, all right? Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, sure.
Just keep your mind at ease, all right?
All right, that's reassuring.
And we will talk later.
And he hangs up the phone. Without saying bye, like they do in movies.
No. At least it wasn't Skinny Joey. Ugh.
Yeah, I know, right? Why couldn't he be the one that died?
That fucking prick.
You know, they always gotta take the good ones.
So you finish out... Oh, I'm sorry. You finish up your call with Chucky. And what do you do from there? Kind of go back to sleep or just enjoy your weekend? What do you...
I'd probably mope around the house for a bit. Yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna, call Saturday a wash.
Okay.
Stay in mostly and, fuck it.
All right. So, Walter, what are you doing for the rest of the day after around 4 o'clock?
If it takes them any longer, I might have to stay in the store for a little bit because I forgot that I also need some sandpaper, various, grit variety.
I'm going to say you could have picked that up while you were at the hardware store.
That's excellent.
Before you left there.
All right. Well, then I head on back to the bookstore and try to get to work.
All right. So you start getting to work on the statue
Mm-hmm.
to help restore it. Okay. So you start kind of sealing it up, putting solder along the crack and everything.
My idea was kind of to do a few layers, like the epoxy first, let that dry, and then see if that seals the crack to start with, and then try to do a little combination of some of the shavings and solder. Try to smooth it down.
What do you have under arts and crafts other than photography? Anything like art restoration or anything like
Yeah,
that?
that's
Finger painting is.
That's his.
at 30.
Yeah,
Didn't know there was an arts and crafts on this list.
I'm a stellar finger painter, but no.
So cute.
He does have the antique restoration under his arts and craft.
That's fine. We're going to say that you put a lot of work into it, but it's not enough to get it exactly where you need it to be quite yet. You work till the bookshop closes. Was it a Saturday? Let's say the bookshop closes at 9. And you still don't have it quite where you want it to be yet. Were you doing anything with that scroll of Russian?
Yeah, probably, because, I mean, I figured he would set the epoxy and let that dry, so it's probably going to take a bit of time before he gets to the next phase of it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, his thought would be to try to translate it bit by bit. Not really knowing anything about Russian, I'm sure that's going to be fun, since he doesn't really know any of these words or anything, but, I don't, I mean, if nothing else, in the time that it takes to have the epoxy start to dry, and it's probably at least an hour or two in between him setting that, he could probably try to decipher a few words, see if he can get any ideas of what's in here.
Tell you what, give me an intelligence roll.
I would think just translating the words would be somewhat simple, but speaking the language or like phonetically translating them would be super difficult. I would guess.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be speaking at any time. He does pass his intelligence with 49.
Is that a regular pass?
It is.
Regular pass. So I'm going to give you 1d4 days to decipher this. Fully. 2 days it's going to take you.
Sounds good to me. He would probably not sleep tonight. He'd probably just work through the evening, drinking coffee, and if there's anything to eat here, he'd probably munch on whatever crackers or pretzels or whatever might be lying around.
After the bookstore closes, Headley comes to you. He says, Walter, do you want to lock the store up after we're done here, or are you going to go home? I know sometimes you stay in the study a little longer than the shop's open, so is this going to be one of those nights?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a long night, and he's got, the handwritten page there, and the Russian-English dictionary out. Says, I got a little homework to do.
I'm going to give Headley a spot hidden roll.
Headley sounds like the name of the statue, honestly.
He says to you, what's that you're reading there? Is that Russian?
Yeah, Russian to English.
He says, huh, do you need any help with that? You know Russian literature is my forte.
At this
I gotta say, reading Crime and Punishment in its original language really adds a lot. Sounding and feeling language that it just reads better. It doesn't translate right into English, you know what I mean? And he's talking about, he keeps going on about Russian literature and Dostoevsky and shit like that.
Well, I mean, Walter would be interested in that. He kind of goes with the conversation for a little bit. He says, at this point, I'm still just kind of getting into it, but if I do need some help later on, that's great to know that you're so knowledgeable on the subject. I may need your help later.
Says, yeah, sure, absolutely. Anytime you need any assistance with anything Russian, really, you just let me know, all right?
That's great. Thanks, Headley.
Seems pretty persuasive.
So Headley leaves you alone, and he's just asks you to lock up when you're done.
He wipes a bead of sweat from his brow, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Actually, I think I'll probably be here for a few more hours."
Okay. So Headley gives you the okay to go ahead and stay there for as long as you like, as long as you lock up. And what does Heather do with the rest of her day after the psychic?
I was gonna go and see if Walter was at the bookshop to apologize, but I want to punch his head in for not letting Scroll get fucking translated, you gatekeeping son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, chances are I'll probably have to talk to him again.
If he's still at Joe Clock's, I, am all inspired by the psychic to go, apologize.
All right, so you go by Joe Clock's bookshop. Walter, this is prior to you staying all night. So Heather shows up around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
You hear the ding-a-ling of the bell.
Head on out there.
And you see Heather there. She's looking around, I guess somewhat impressed by the bookstore.
This is Heather. Hey, what brings you into the bookstore? And he gives you a wave from across the room. Comes to meet you.
And, she runs over to him and, hugs him. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Millie's alive. She's in the hospital. I know that you didn't do it. I saw a psychic. She said it wasn't you. Millie's in trouble, but I'm so sorry. I'm such a bitch.
He's like, whoa, slow down. You want some coffee or something? That's quite a bit to take in there. And he looks a little wide-eyed at some of the things you just said. Gestures to a little, I don't know, it's probably a small table with some fixins for coffee and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Old school drip style thingy thing.
So you got your table of coffee, and there's a couple little noshes on there, some finger foods.
Oh, yeah, she's, definitely into that. Seeing that she's been, drinking for a solid 12 hours and then to the psychic.
So he pours 2 cups of coffee and hands you one, and he says, Millie's in the hospital, she's okay? And what, did you talk to her, or?
I don't know. She's hooked up to so many machines and she couldn't talk. They found her and she was naked and she was attacked. I didn't really get to find much more out. I went to grab the phone and I was a little drunk and I fell over and they kicked me out of the hospital, basically. They kicked me out.
Well, he looks a little taken back by that. I guess they have their strict policies and procedures regarding such things, but...
I'm the first person to be drunk in a hospital, please.
Shit, half the surgeons probably are.
Yeah, really. Well, I mean, that's such great news. I had hoped, but, it had been a number of days, and, usually they say the first 48 hours are the most important. Well, where is she at?
She is at Rock Sparrow Hospital. Yeah, she's at Rock Sparrow Hospital.
I guess she's probably not well enough for visitors if she's attached to a bunch of machines, or what? How's she doing?
I don't know. They let me in. I mean, if you want to go up with me, we could go up, and then you could go in, and you could tell them that I'm not drunk anymore, and then maybe they'll let me in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could arrange a visit later. That shouldn't be any problem. He says, but since you're here, let me show you something. I was visited by the lady from the art gallery today, and you might be interested in this. He gestures towards the back.
You gesture towards the hidden pile of books where you stowed away the Chicana.
I mean, this is in a different room, so I'd have to.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
You have to take her back to the study room. Okay, so you take Heather
Yeah.
back to the study room, and what do you show her?
I say, Mrs. Bellagrosso came by earlier and dropped off the statue, and she asked me to repair it, hoping to later on. But I guess I should get these pictures developed because I took some earlier, and I was hoping we could show them to Millie and see if this is in fact the statue that she inherited. I guess I'm not really sure if there's anything, fancy or shifty that I should do. I'd thought to repair it and return it to the art gallery curator, but I mean, if it is her, I mean, we should probably talk to the police, right? I mean, she's in possession of stolen goods. He kind of shrugs.
Can I ask a question real quick? Does the statue look like the thing that I saw?
Did it look like that creature?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It looks like an old man.
Okay.
Walter holds it up into the light, next to his visage. He's like, no, not really.
Do you pull out the statue, Walter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he would probably uncover it to show her.
Okay. You uncover it, you show her, and at this close a range there, Heather, give me a power roll.
Oh, fuck.
I never should have come to the bookstore. I hate this place.
Fuck, I come to give you... I hate books!
Ooh.
70? I have 70.
You
You're
rolled
right
exactly
there?
what you have?
Oh, man.
Yeah, what happens
No,
there?
you just barely pass, but you pass.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So you start to feel a weird kind of attraction or pull from this statue, but then you kind of shake it off real quick and you kind of dismiss it as part of your hangover.
Walter's like, is everything okay?
Yeah, I probably just drank too much. I don't know. Maybe I'm car sick from the ride over here.
He sips his coffee a little bit more.
God damn, that thing is ugly.
Yeah.
I can't believe everyone's fighting over this.
And,
Well, it's all about prestigiousness.
Yep,
prestige?
you nailed it.
Prestige. Yeah, there you go. All about prestige.
Horoscope.
Horoscope, good.
He covers it back up and puts it out of sight. He says, I'm gonna try and get some supplies later and see if I can repair it. During all that commotion at the gallery, something must have happened to it. And before he covers it up completely, he shows you the crack. Crosses his fingers.
Okay.
Says, with any luck, anyway.
So you see the crack. Heather, give me spot hidden roll. Let me know if you get an extreme pass.
Okay.
Just getting kicked all over the floor in the gallery, and some dickhead like bolted across the office.
I love rolling dice. This is the best part.
It is pretty good.
47. Sorry, it takes me so freaking long to find 50.
Ooh. Oh, that's not extreme, though.
47 out of 50. It's not an extreme
Extreme.
pass. So, let's say you don't really see anything. You just see the crack in the statue, and you can kind of see into the statue a little bit. It just looks dark and black in there, though.
Okay. Is it like substantial where I would be like, oh yeah, all right. Like I think she like kind of doesn't give a shit about the statue a little bit. She's like, all right, yeah, it's a pretty bad scratch there.
Yeah. So she doesn't seem too impressed by the statue at all. She felt that weird pull from it, but shook it off, so not an issue. Walter, I guess that... Is there anything else you have to say to her before she goes, or...?
Yeah, actually. He says, hey, since you're here, there any books or types of genres you'd like to read? Sure, there's something here that might take your mind off of some of the things that have happened lately. If nothing else, maybe if you visit Millie again, you'll have a little something to read while you're there.
You know what? Can I get a book on, like astrological signs?
Yeah, actually.
I'm an Aries and I love reading about it.
Well, I could suggest one of my personal favorites, but yeah, he hands you a relatively thick book. It's probably about 2 inches or more around. He says, this, and he opens it up and shows you just some random page, and he says it'll show you the pairings of, Aries mixed with any other sign. And he flips through a few pages, and you see, like, Aries with Scorpio, and then Aries with Capricorn, or whatever.
I'm going to say that this book probably goes into so much detail as to say what date you're born on, since it's a 2-inch thick book. It goes into specific dates for Aries and things like that, so it's pretty immersive.
It goes on further to say that it actually splits up each of the astrological signs into 3 segments, depending on when you were born.
Perfect. I love this stuff. I always read it in the daily news. They're always right. Always dead on.
Well, hopefully you'll have as much luck with this then.
All right. So, Heather, you get your book, and I'm going to say you go unless there's anything else you wanted to accomplish there while you were at the bookstore.
Oh, no, I'm super hungover. Like, I'm ready to go home. I've done
You've done your part.
my amends.
All right, so you gave your amends to Walter, gave him a big hug and everything. You get home, and...
Oh, I do write my number down for him to go to the hospital if he wants to go visit her. I'm sorry.
Right.
You write the number down for the hospital or your number?
My number.
Okay. So now you have Heather's contact information.
He says, thanks for stopping in, too. Don't worry about that stuff before. It's been such a terrible week. It's completely understandable.
I'm just so sorry. I feel awful. Your next course is on me.
That's great. Hopefully I'll catch you soon for that one.
Right, Heather, so you get home. We'll say it's about 3 o'clock by the time you get home. When you get home, there's a flashing light on your answering machine, though.
Okay. This is always weird. Okay. Yeah.
So do you hit play?
Yeah.
Okay. You hit play on the answering machine. It goes, hi, this message is for Heather Snakehole. This is Detective Luke Thompson. Heather, calling you back. You seemed pretty angry in your last message to me. However, I'm calling to inform you that I am no longer on the case for Mildred Thiebley. I work homicide and missing persons, and since she is no longer a missing person and is turned up alive, this is no longer my case. So thank you for not contacting me ever again. Beep.
Damn.
Lying sack of shit,
That's
motherfucker.
fair.
It's not fair because he was lying from the beginning. The dice told me he was lying.
There was something up with that guy.
Yeah.
Something up with him and his yellow fucking glasses.
I think he was getting paid off.
I was just gonna say, is he connected?
What was that?
I said, is he connected or something?
You don't know.
Shady.
We don't.
Um,
Better left to leave it alone.
okay, and Heather, the day kind of goes on. We're going to say you're kind of in and out of consciousness, kind of like Lenny has been all day. But 6 o'clock rolls around. Just remind me real quick, Walter, around 6 o'clock, you're still working on your translations and your repair of the statue, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Depending on how long it took him to get back from West Philly. He probably left there around 5 o'clock.
Lenny, you feeling any better towards 6 o'clock?
I'm gonna figure out how to get up, make some dinner, maybe exercise a bit, go for a walk or something. I don't know. Get the blood pumping. Can't waste the whole day. I won't be able to sleep later.
It's wise.
All right. So, as you guys are
Very responsible.
making up your dinners and things like that, or sitting down to eat, rather, maybe at a TV tray, eating in front of the television while it's going on. And
That's exactly what I was thinking.
6 o'clock news comes on, and there you see Jim Garner in front of the news desk. It says, top story tonight, a student from Penn is missing following the disappearance of another student at the prestigious university last month. Regina Fellows is the most recent student to disappear, who has been seen on the campus this past Wednesday. And it cuts to footage of Regina Fellows' mother. And she's saying, please, if anyone has seen or heard from my daughter, I implore you to call the police and help us bring her back home. And it cuts back to the anchor. And it says, the search continues for Michelle Wilson, who went missing from Penn's campus last month. And it switches over to the next news story. That's what you guys hear at dinner. Walter, what do you do after you are you working the whole night through?
He would probably stop at some point for some food, but yeah, I mean, I was thinking he'd probably stay up late. I'd like to try to get this thing repaired and back to Bellagrosa as soon as possible, just because it's just kind of creepy, and I don't know, I got a bad feeling about it in general.
Now, question, are you going to put the original scroll back into the statue, or are you just leaving it out of there?
No, he does not intend to reseal that inside.
I see, okay. So you work on the statue, you work on your translations. Lenny, did you do anything else that night?
No.
All right.
Nothing specific I wanted to.
All right, so that takes us into Sunday. I'm going to say everyone kind of wakes up around the same time-ish. Heather, you had off last night from your job. You work every other Saturday. But Sunday comes around, you don't work Sundays ever. And we're going to say that Heather gets up relatively early because she just kind of slept it off all night.
Yeah.
We're going to say she gets up around 10 or so. So
I was pretty
kind of
early.
on the early side for her.
Yeah.
Sleep schedule's all messed up now.
What are you doing on Sunday there, Heather?
Well, she probably feels great now from all the sleep. So she probably goes for a jog, grabs some Dunkin' Donuts or
Okay.
something. Does she have Lenny's number? Because she would want to tell him.
Does she have Lenny's
I
number?
believe we covered that. Yeah.
Okay. I want to say she definitely calls him to let him know, because she asked him to ask his friends to look for her aunt.
Okay, so you call Lenny Sunday morning. Sunday morning, Lenny, your phone rings, and what do you know? It's Heather on the other end.
Hey, who is it?
Oh, hey, Lenny, it's Heather. Is that how you answer your phone?
Oh, sorry. I guess it's a habit. Yeah. Most of the time, I don't want to talk to nobody. What's going on? How you feeling? How you
I
holding
feel
up?
great today. How you feeling?
Better than yesterday.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Hey, well, got the job done.
So I got a strange call from the hospital. My Aunt Millie is alive. The one that my godmother, the one I asked you to ask your friends about.
No way. I mean, congratulations. That's wonderful.
I know. I mean, she's hooked up to 1,000 machines, but
How the fuck is she doing?
I haven't. I haven't been there today, but I'm gonna go. As soon as I get a shower and change. They kind of. I fell the last time I was there, and they knew I was drunk, and they kicked me out.
So wait, so she survived, and you, well, that's understandable, I guess. Well, that's wonderful news. I'm happy for you. I hope she pulls through, and I'll, maybe I'll get her some flowers.
Well, are you doing anything later today? It'd be awesome if I could get a ride. These cabs are really adding up.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm not really doing nothing anyway, not till work tomorrow morning. So I guess I'll swing over your place whenever.
All right, just maybe an hour. Just give me an hour.
All right. So we're going to say around 11 o'clock, that's when you're going to go pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you call Walter and let him know that you're going to see Millie?
Oh yeah. So I'll call Walter and let him know that. Don't worry about it. I got a ride from Lenny.
Walter, are you going to go up and visit Millie as well?
Though he would like to, I think
Date night.
he he probably thinks the statue and things that pertain to that are a little bit more pressing.
Okay. So you continue with the statue. Heather and Lenny, you get up to Roxborough Memorial Hospital around noon. When you get there, they direct you to Millie's floor again. And you see some people going around with carts, food on it and stuff. Looks like they're serving lunch in the hospital right now.
See any fries or anything?
There's some fries, absolutely. some fries and salad, but none of it looks like it has too much salt on it. Or none of it tastes like it has too much salt on it anyway.
That.
Yeah, it's all gross. But the nurse says, "Oh, you're Miss Thiebley's niece, is it?"
Oh, yeah. I mean, technically I'm her goddaughter, but yes, I'm her niece. I was her emergency contact.
Is that the drunk girl?
I know they're talking about me.
Yeah, you can see them talking like behind their back kind of thing, but they direct you to Millie's room, and the head nurse says to you, Millie's had a real quick turnaround. She's awake now, and as you walk into the room, you see Millie sit up in bed, and she turns to you and goes, "Hi, Heather."
Can I hug her now? And I run over because she's not all dead. And I hug her.
You run over, give her a hug, and she hugs you back, and it actually feels like a kind of a strong hug. She doesn't seem weakened or anything like that.
Just standing at the door, holding some flowers and head tilted to the side, looking for any obvious signs of gunshot wounds. As far as I know, she was unloaded on. How is she up and hugging? Whoa, something ain't right.
Yeah.
Heather, you are closest to Millie. Give me a spot hidden roll. Let me know if you get an extreme pass.
I love rolling the dice.
She's got a piece of paper in her head.
45.
No, it's not an extreme pass. So
At least I didn't fall.
Millie sits up and she goes, "Heather, who's your friend over there?"
Oh, yeah, sorry, ma'am. I figured I'd give you two a moment. I gave Heather a ride here. I'm sort of just like a regular where she works. I just kind of look out for your niece there sometimes.
She goes, "Well, anyone who looks out for Heather or is a friend of Heather can be considered a friend of mine, I
Well,
suppose."
thanks, ma'am. It's nice to meet you.
And she reaches out a hand to shake your hand.
Uh-huh. I grab her hand.
All right. And she gives you a shake, and it's pretty solid handshake.
Ah, quite grip you got there.
She goes, "Yeah, well, my dad always told me, to let someone know when you shake their hand."
You'll be out of here in no time.
Says, "Yeah, I'm not feeling too bad."
Set the flowers down next to her.
You set the flowers down next to her, and she says to you there, "So, Heather, I don't know how long I've been gone for. They said that they found me on Friday, 2 days ago, but the last thing I remember was being at home, and suddenly someone broke into my house."
Do you know who it was? Did you know them?
I saw there was two guys, and I didn't recognize them, though.
Could you give a description if I to the police?
Uh-oh.
Probably. It's kind of a blur.
I mean, it was dark, if you didn't recognize them, and it was probably all happened so fast. If it's a traumatic experience, you probably don't remember too much. That's not uncommon. I wouldn't even worry about it. You gotta relax to ease your healing.
He says, "You're right, I gotta focus on getting better, I suppose." Heather, I like your friend over here.
He's way more attractive than Walter.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, Millie. But I don't know when you're feeling up to it. I feel like you don't want these people doing this to somebody else.
She says, "You know what? You're right. I wouldn't want anything like this to happen to anyone else. So I'll do my best to try to describe the guys to the police when I see them."
Oh, I'm just so glad you're better. I mean, when are they gonna let you out of here? You seem fine. I mean.
She says, "Well, I don't know when they're going to let me out exactly, but," and she turns to the head nurse that's still standing in the doorway there, and she says to her, when do you think I'll be able to get out?" The nurse says, "Well, if you continue with this kind of progress like you've had in the past 2 days here, we could probably get you out of here within less than a week there, Millie. Things are looking real good." And Millie turns to you, Heather, and she says, "See, look, I'll be out of here in just a couple of days. Things will go back to normal, I hope."
Oh, well, that's amazing. Maybe you'll even get to set your date back up with Walter.
Hold on. I almost forgot about that. But that was right. That when those guys broke into my house, that was the night I was supposed to go see Walter. But I don't know. Do you think I should call him and let him know that I didn't stand him up?
Oh, absolutely. I've met him, and he's a lovely guy.
You've met him?
Oh, it's a long. You don't have to want to hear all this, but yeah, I met him.
Do you go into the details? Tell her about how you met him.
It's kind of the one that found you.
So you kind of go into the details. Tell her, catch her up on everything that's happened between you, Walter, and Lenny.
Did you include the part about the auction? I wouldn't. If you did start to, I might stop you.
Oh right.
Oh, do you?
As long as she don't say nothing.
Okay.
It's a little too much.
No, I don't
you
think.
know?
I think
She
I would just
spoke
tell her
up
like how I met Walter, which would
during the investigation.
yeah, and then basically just tell her like, oh, those guys, I think they broke in for that statue, that really ugly statue that you have.
She goes, oh yeah, the one I got from Uncle Charles. She goes, that statue is horrible looking.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Did it go missing?
It's back now. Don't worry. It's safe.
Okay, well that's good. I don't like the thing, but I was wondering if it was worth any money.
Well, your boyfriend Walter has it now, so.
Oh really? That's strange, but it'll give me a reason to talk to him again, that's for sure.
Exactly. You can go back to Chez Vuvu.
I don't think that's how you say it.
So you get done talking to Millie, and she seems like she's doing all right. You guys, both you and Lenny, leave the hospital. We're going to say it's around 1 o'clock. We'll say you spent about an hour with Millie there.
Okay.
Very awkward hour for Lenny, just kind of standing there.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
have stayed in there the whole time. I probably would have stepped out at some point as long as they weren't talking about Tommy Slick.
Right.
And, went to the vending machine or something, got some coffee, and waited around.
All right, so you weren't just standing there like an awkward dick the whole time.
Not the whole time.
But you guys meet back up, leave the hospital. On the way back, both Heather and Lenny give me an intelligence roll.
Oh shit! I dropped one on the floor. Hold on.
Nutsack. Let's see what she rolls first. I'm 6 over. I might spend it.
Yeah, my intelligence is 85, and I rolled a 38.
Damn, she's smart.
Wow, okay, so that's a hard pass. So,
Yeah, but she's got a drinking problem. She's smart, but
Heather, you get this idea that, do you remember that they were taking down everyone's names and everything at the art gallery? And just in case you wanted to get in touch with anyone there, they might have the information for other people at the art gallery, at least their names, as far as you know. And we're going to end the episode there. We'll get back together next time. Guys, until then, remember, sanity is overrated. Hey, this is George. Just a quick reminder to like, follow, and review us if you like what you're hearing. You can email us at contact@thatcthulhujohn.com with any comments. And you can follow us on Instagram at thatcthulhujohn.